The Eternal Guardian, Varuna's reign of waters and law. In the golden age of the Ikshwaku dynasty, where the sun-kissed spires of Ayodhya pierced the heavens like divine spears, there ruled a king whose name echoed like thunder across the realms, Harishchandra. Renowned for his unyielding adherence to truth, he was a beacon of Dharma, his word as unbreakable as the eternal mountains. Yet even the mightiest oaks bend in storms unforeseen, and Harishchandra's fate was woven by the inexorable threads of divine bargain. The palace halls, adorned with silken tapestries and the scent of blooming lotuses, rang with sorrow one fateful eve. Harishchandra, despite 100 queens whose beauty rivaled the apsaras of Indra's court, had no heir to carry his lineage's flame. The throne loomed like a hollow crown, and whispers of pitfall haunted his dreams. Tales of kings consigned to the shadowed pits of Naraka for want of progeny. Enter the celestial wanderers, sages Narada and Parvata, their forms aglow with the wisdom of 1,000 yugas. With voices like the chime of temple bells, they counseled the despondent king. O sovereign of unblemished valor, without a son, your soul drifts toward the abyss. Seek the boon of Varuna, lord of the abyssal waters, on the sacred banks of Gautami Ganga. There, in fervent prayer, beseech the Asura king who binds the cosmos in Rita's embrace. Harishchandra's heart, a forge of resolve, ignited with purpose. He traversed the verdant plains, the Ganga's silvery tresses whispering secrets of eternity. Kneeling upon the pebbled shore, where the river's song merged with the wind's sigh, he invoked the Ancient One. Varuna Deva, encircler of worlds, guardian of truth's unyielding tide, I, Harishchandra, offer my devotion. Grant me a son to uphold the wheel of Dharma, and in return I pledge a yajna in your glory, a sacrifice befitting your majesty. The air thickened, the water stilled as if holding breath. From the depth rose a vision, Varuna, majestic upon his Makara steed, its scales shimmering like fractured emeralds, his form clad in golden armor that gleamed with the fury of monsoons. His eyes, 1,000 vigilant stars, pierced the veil of mortality. In one hand, the Pasha noose, coiled like a serpent's promise. In the other, a conch that hummed the universe's heartbeat. Thy woe is etched in the ledger of fates, boomed Varuna, his voice the rumble of ocean swells crashing against primordial rocks. A son shall grace thy line, but mark this, at his coming he shall be offered to me upon the sacrificial pyre. Swear it, and the boon is thine. Harishchandra, his spirit a flame unquenched by doubt, bowed low. By the eternal Rita, I swear. The god vanished into the froth, leaving the river to lap triumphantly at the shores. Months bloomed into seasons, and Queen Shaivya's womb swelled with divine favor. Amid joyous conch blasts and garlands of marigold, Prince Rohitashva entered the world, his cry a herald of solar vigor, his skin ruddy as the dawn. The kingdom erupted in revelry, feasts where rivers of soma flowed, dances that swirled like autumn leaves in gale. Harishchandra cradled his heir, whispering prophecies of glory, oblivious to the shadow lengthening from the deep. Years unfurled like scrolls of forgotten lore. Rohitashva grew into a youth of fierce spirit, his bowstring humming with the promise of conquests. Yet on the eve of his 16th spring, the palace quaked. Water seeped from unseen fissures, mirrors fogged with spectral mist. Varuna manifested once more, his Makara's roar shaking the marble floors.
"La woe, O king, the hour strikes, the sun for the yajna, honor it or drown in the flood of broken oaths." Harishchandra's face paled as monsoon clouds, but his voice held steady. "Great Lord, he is but a sapling. Let him don the sacred thread, master the Vedas' chant. A king unlearned is no offering worthy of thee." Varuna's gaze softened like receding waves, yet his tone brook no tide's turn. "So it be, but delay no further, lest my pasha bind thy soul eternal." The god receded, but the air hung heavy with brine. Rohitashva, overhearing the decree, fled into the wild thickets, his heart a storm of filial love and dread. Days bled into moons. The prince wandered forests where tigers prowled and rivers wept. Harishchandra, tormented by absence, sought solace in rites, but Varuna's wrath brewed unseen. It came as a tempest within, a swelling in the king's belly. Mahodara, they called it, a curse of waters trapped in flesh. Harishchandra writhed, his once robust frame bloating like a vessel overfull. Skin stretched taut over an ocean of agony. Physicians chanted futile mantras. Queens wailed as lotuses wilted in grief-stricken urns. Rohitashva returned in secret, bearing herbs from hermit sages. But the prince's pleas fell on deaf ears. "Father, let me yield, end this torment." But Harishchandra, eyes fever bright, refused. "No, my son, flight buys time. Truth demands surrender." Seasons cycled thrice more, each postponement a dagger to Varuna's patience. The god's silhouette haunted dreams, waves crashing over thrones, nooses snaring stars. At last, cornered by inevitability, Harishchandra decreed the yajna. The kingdom assembled on the Ganga's banks, altars of sandalwood piled high, fires kindled with invocations to Agni. Rohitashva, adorned in sacrificial garbs, approached the post, his steps echoes of a hero's elegy. Yet, as the priests raised their blades, a cry pierced the dawn, not of the prince, but from the underbrush. Ajigartha, a Brahmin of ragged fortune, burst forth, eyes wild with desperation. "Spare the royal blood, I offer myself for a price." In his wake, bound and trembling, came Shunashepa, his third son, sold for a handful of cows to sate the father's greed. Harishchandra, torn between horror and relief, consented. The rite proceeded with Shunashepa lashed to the stake. The boy, no older than dawn's first light, lifted his voice not in terror, but in hymn, a melody pure as mountain springs, invoking the Deva's mercy. "O Varuna, binder of skies, O Indra, wielder of Vajra, hear the plea of the innocent. Let truth's tide wash clean this altar stain." The heavens cracked open, lightning forked like divine veins, thunder rolled as Varuna's chariot surged from the firmament. The god descended, Pasha uncoiling like Sirkans forgiven, his makara rearing in spectral splendor. "Stis," commanded the Lord of Depths, waters parting in his wake. The boy's song has stirred the Rita's core, nor blood shall stain this rite. With a gesture, the swelling fled from Harishchandra's form. Vitality surged through his veins like Ganga's flood. Rohitashva was freed, Shunashepa adopted by sage Vishvamitra, who had overseen the flames, his heart moved by the child's piety. Varuna turned to the king, his 1,000 eyes softening to twilight's glow. "Thy woe, though bent by mortal frailty, was redeemed in unyielding spirit. Truth is not rigid stone, but the river that carves canyons. Rule with this wisdom, Harishchandra, and let thy line echo eternity." The god descended, trailing mists that birthed rainbows across the sky. the assembly prostrated, conscious blaring triumph. From that day, Harishchandra's reign blossomed into legend, a tapestry of trials transmuted to gold. Rohitashva ascended as a just sovereign, his descendants weaving the threads of Ram's epic saga. And Shunashepa, he soared as a seer, his hymns etching Varuna's mercy into the Veda's heart. Thus, in the grand odyssey of gods and men, Varuna's tale reminds, oaths bind like ocean currents, but devotion's wave can part even the mightiest seas.
Om Shanti Shanti